Welcome. Hi, I'm Luke Mangan. Thank you very much for coming. So today we've got something very inspiring. So listen up. And before we get started, let me tell you something pretty wild. When I was your age, my school actually asked me to leave, funnily enough. They thought that if I left, it would be better for everyone. And honestly, at the time, they were pretty much right. School wasn't my thing, but that didn't mean I didn't have a future. I just hadn't found it yet. I started with a job in a restaurant right at the bottom, washing dishes, peeling potatoes, all that sort of stuff. I had no plan, no idea what I wanted to do, but I stuck with it. And slowly, through hard work and long hours, I discovered something amazing. I found a career that I love. A career that's taken me around the world, that's let me meet incredible people, work with amazing teams, create food people love, and eventually open my own restaurants. That's the power of the hospitality industry. If you got passion, energy, and willingness to work hard, you can build a life that's exciting, creative, and full of opportunity. Today, we're going to talk about what a career in hospitality can offer. Whether it's as a chef, front of house, in events, or as an entrepreneur. And to help me, I've brought 3 other industry leaders with their own inspiring stories. So let's get into it. And by the end, who knows, you might just see your future career in food and hospitality. I certainly hope so. So our first speaker today is a guy called Big Sam Young. He calls himself that. Get ready to meet one of Sydney's most exciting chefs. Big Sam Young, known for his bold flavours, big personality, and more is more style. Sam has worked in some of the city's top restaurants like Mr. Wong, Totti's and Miss G's. In 2022, he opened his own restaurant, S'more, which quickly became a foodie favourite thanks to dishes like lobster pasta and Wagyu with caviar. He also creates exclusive private dining experiences through his Big Sam Young Experience brand. Let's welcome Big Sam Young, and you've got to follow him on Instagram as well. Big Sam Young.
Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How is everyone?
Wakey, wakey, Sam's here. Very good. Thank you for joining us, Sam.
Thank you, Chef.
You're a bit of a legend. I think you are.
Maybe.
Yeah. Tell everyone your Instagram.
The Instagram handle is Big Sam Young. Pretty simple. Big, because I'm quite a large guy. Big Sam Young is my Instagram handle.
And it's a good one because you're very active on Instagram, which is great. So Sam, tell us, you've worked in some of Sydney's most famous restaurants, you know, Mr. Wong's, Totti's, Miss G's. But let's rewind a bit and What got you into cooking first, I guess?
My mom is a very good cook, and she's probably one of the biggest inspiration for me to go into food. I actually left when I'm about your age. I left home when I was 13. Probably you guys are a bit older, probably. I left home when I was 13. I left Hong Kong, and I went to a boarding school in Canada. So that's my parents sent me overseas. So hopefully I have a better future in life, and which it helps me a lot. And during living in the boarding school, because I live in a small town in Canada, and there's not really any Chinese food, so I sort of have to like cook my own. Otherwise, there won't be any Chinese food around in town. That was like 24 years ago. So yeah, that's how I got into food, and that's how I got into cooking.
Did you always want to become a chef? Did you always want to have your own restaurant?
I think the turning moment is when I was 13, right? I was really craving this like dish from mom, right? It's called the soy chicken. That's a very popular dish in Hong Kong. So I cooked the chicken for like 4 days, and it tastes terrible, right? It's not very good. So I called mom, and I asked for the recipe, and I learned how to do it properly. And then basically what happened was I cooked the dish successfully on the 4th time. And basically I shared it with all my friends that was also from Hong Kong. And some of them have tears in their eyes, right? And they just, because we all felt very homesick. So at the age of 13, I connected food can actually bring happiness to people. And that's the day that I decided I want to open my own restaurant. But I didn't know if I want to cook or be a front of house or whatever that might be. But I know that food brings happiness to people, and that's the things I want to do for the rest of my life.
Wow, cool. You worked in some of those big restaurant names under the Merivale brand and things like that. Working in those big kitchens, which is high pressure and sometimes long hours, I guess, and things like that. What stuck with you? What did you learn out of that in those experiences?
I think I used to work for one of the biggest hospitality group in Australia. It's called Merivale, and some of the best chefs coming out from that company. I think the consistency and the dedication and the standard is what stuck with me since then. So for example, we only serve oyster that is shark to order. We always get fresh calamari for whatever that might be. If it's a fish and chips dish, it's always snapper. So like it's always on the premium side, and things just taste good. I think that standard stuck with me, and also the way how like, they reward and recognize the staff. So that's something that stuck with me, that like, I still treat my staff the same way how they treat me. So,
yeah, right. That's a good one. And was there a moment in your training or when you were learning to cook, and in these high pressure jobs, that you ever wanted to give up and quit and do something else?
I remember at probably after working for Merivale for 4 years, I actually quit the job, and
You quit cooking or
no, I quit
that job.
I quit the job, and I really want to try fine dining restaurant, so I've never been involved before. So I started off with Mr. Wong and Miss G's, is both Asian restaurants, and casual. I know Mr. Wong is not casual, but like,
Yeah.
it's not like fine dining, right? So I really want to have a crack and try fine dining cooking style, and I went to a restaurant to try that. I left the company, and I discovered really quickly that's not my thing. And I think
Well, why wasn't it?
I think the culture of on that particular kitchen, and also I think with that particular style of food is probably not the one thing that I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
And I think I was very lucky that I realized and I learned that very quickly that wasn't for me. And I think I'm still grateful for that opportunity that happened to me.
Yeah, right. So you've opened your first restaurant small a few years ago. Why'd you open that restaurant in particular?
So I worked for Merivale, that hospitality group, for 9.5 years. During COVID, I actually started my own business. So the story was...
Hustling. You were hustling.
I'm a hustler. That's my brand. So I think, most of the people are sitting at home complaining about COVID. They're not happy, but they wasn't doing anything about it. And lots of people just choose to go get the government support, like job seeker or job keeper, whatever that might be. And I decided cooking is in my blood, and making people feel happy is what I do, right? So I started to cooking like takeaways at home and sell it through a cafe in Potts Point. So basically, that's how I got started with my own business. So transitioning from a chef to running my own business, and that was one of the life-changing experience for me. And then I started private home catering, which is a luxury style of like which I, as a private chef, I come to your home and I cook for you, predominantly in the eastern suburbs and all parts of Australia. Actually, I've been very lucky enough that customers fly me to Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, and even Auckland to cook for them, which is I felt privileged and very lucky. So I think that's hospitality gave me a great opportunity to do a lot of fun things, and so after COVID finished. Because no one is buying more takeaway, right? Because everyone can go to the restaurant, which is great, and people can travel, so they stop hosting party at home. So I decided to launch a restaurant in 2022 to my name and never.
Why small? Why did you call it small?
So the name of small mean there's always some more. So you can always come back for some more. That's clever. That's the brand, yeah.
Yeah, and it's proved very popular. People do keep coming back for your Wagyu and your caviar bumps and things like that.
Yeah. We've been lucky. For the last 3 years, we sold over 8,000 lobsters.
8,000 lobsters.
Yeah, and probably 5 tons of beef. So that's in a 40-seat restaurant. I guess I'm very proud of the restaurant, how it's still opening in this economy, so which is quite good.
And you may be opening another place as well, or?
It's a pipeline for a second restaurant, but please promise me don't tell anyone.
Very good. I mean, did you always want to own your own restaurant? Was that your pathway when you started cooking with your mum and things like that?
I think it's going back to the age of 13, right? Like, which I discovered food bring happiness to people, and I like to bring happiness to people, and I think that pretty much locked in that I really want to own my own restaurant, because people can come and they have a great time and be really happy, and I think that's what lead. I didn't really know how to do it or what's the pathway to do it, so I just stuck in the industry, work hard, work as hard as I can, and go through that process.
Yeah, it's sort of something that you've got to really work hard, no matter whether it's cooking or being a barman or a barista or something like that. You've just got to be committed and love what you do, right?
I think it doesn't matter really what industry that you're in. I think if you the dedication is so important that you have to put out your 110%, not 100%, 110%. You've got to push all your energy and your passion into, and do what you love, right? Like if you love cooking and you just got to go full on with all the passion into it. So
that's great advice. What's one bit of advice you were taught that you'd like to share with the group here, if they wanted to get into our industry, whether it be cooking or front of house, whatever it may be?
I think this is a lesson I learned like throughout my career. I think don't really worry about how other people look at you or how other people view your work. I think everyone is in their own stage, have their own life, and have their own background, have their own stories. So I think try to not compare you with yourself with other people is quite important, and don't really worry about how other people view your work or your life, because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own life, right? So I think if you put in 110%, that's what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, great. And if you had your time again, what advice would you give yourself at the age of 15? Now that you've done everything you've wanted to do, is there something you would tell yourself to do back then or not do? Stick at something, don't stick at something?
I think just believe in yourself. I think that's so important, because I think that was things that I lacked in the early of my career. I think just believe in yourself, and if you believe into something, if you pour all your energy and all your passion into it, you will do well. Because no one is born and know how to do a certain skill set, right? Everyone takes time, so everyone take effort into build. And don't be afraid of failure, because every success behind is a lot of failure.
Have you had a few failures along the way?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
How do you get out of that? How do you, pick yourself up and try and do something else and learn from that?
I think it's just the grit. I think when you're hit by a wall, you get up. You fall down 10 times, you get up 11 times. You always put up the best fight. You always give your 100%, and I think that's all. That's what everyone actually can ask for, and just do not give up. And that's what my advice.
And I think we should finish on that. Don't give up. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Your inspiration in the industry.
Hold on, we've just got a couple of questions. If you
Oh, yes, we
wouldn't
do.
mind, Sam.
Sorry, Sam. Yeah, my mistake.
So you mentioned you worked in a kitchen at our age and maybe a bit older, but I assumed that gave you a little bit of a spark in hospitality. But did you have anything or anyone that inspired you a bit more to pursue cooking?
I think when I was the age of 13, so legally you can't work in Canada. So my English teacher, his name is Mr. Nadu, right? I still remember his name. So what he did was he actually put me through an internship program in the school cafeteria because they do a lot of functions and stuff. So I was starting working as a kitchenette or flipping burgers at the age of 14 and 15. I don't get paid, but I could eat good food, and I think that's what matters to me. And I think it's like chef. Like for example, we got one of the best chef in the country, Chef Mark. I think like chef come before me, and I think there's so many great talent and so many great chefs in Australia. I think they all inspire me. I think because I want to. The reason why a chef restaurant is because I want to know what is the best. How do I get to the best? Because if you never ate the best, you can't be the best. So food and chefs inspire me a lot.
One more question, I believe.
How have you maintained a stable work-life balance with your role?
Oh, this is a good one. I want to keep it pretty raw and pretty real. If you are so passionate about something, there's not really a balance. And I want to share this straight up, right? I think the industry have improved a lot since my time and even more so chef time. The environment working is fantastic now, and you got a lot of support. But I think it's up to you that if you are passionate enough for your own craft, no one going to hold your hand and say, hey, this is how you chop the onion. Or no one going to hold your hand and say, hey, can you come cook these steaks? So it's all about you, right? If you ask me that question, and this is a very raw and very real answer to you, if you are so obsessed and so passionate about something, I don't think there is a balance to it. But again, at the end of the day, that's up to you, right? So if you say, I got a family or I got, stuff to take care, you can set that boundary. And I think it all depends on you. I think that's what I. But for me, for example, I work 6 to 7 days because I'm a business owner. So I work 6 to 7 days a week, and I really enjoy that.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much, Sam. Big Sam Young.